Hey guys, Micah Let's Play here, and yes, this is a content warning. In this episode, I become extremely emotional during Belara's companion quest. It will discuss topics of losing a child, so if these are topics or things that make you feel uncomfortable to watch and observe, then I highly recommend that you just avoid this episode altogether, or you can skip to the designated timestamp in the video description. I will also have one up on screen so you know when and where to skip, so you can avoid watching me become extremely emotional. Also, during this episode, I had to re-record a good chunk of this, including some other episodes, because my Elgato had been tripping and I lost a lot of footage with my actual raw reactions to things. So with that said, I still hope you enjoy the episode. Thank you so much for still choosing to watch if you did. And if you're new to my channel, this is not my normal routine. So hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you at the end of the video. Take care. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Micah Let's Play, and guess who I am? I'm Micah, peering to you from beyond the veil, but the veil wouldn't open today, so yeah. All jokes aside, guys, I actually did record this earlier, and unfortunately the footage kept chopping and breaking up, Elgato and all of its issues. And yes, at the beginning of this episode, I did put a content warning. The quest with Balara had me very emotional. Luckily, I do have that footage fully captured, and I will share it when the time comes in the video. Even Harding's quest and another quest that popped up during this recording, I do not know what the problem is with Elgato and my PlayStation and my computer. I keep having issues with it. Whatever Elgato has done with their updates has totally, in my opinion, totally screwed up their service and their software. And as a console player, I am very disappointed in this product. But anywho, enough about me whining and bitching, and time for some more incredible Dragon Age The Veilguard with your host, Clementis, aka Rook. So, let's go ahead and do this and say hello to Miss Harding. Wow, he is like so in her personal space. Okay, so this is the Unfamiliar Sense quest. It says help Harding practice her abilities. Meet Harding in a location marked in Alathan Forest. And here we are. So we're going to do this quest with Harding. And actually, I had issues with this from the beginning. Like, I had stuttering frame rates and everything once I was done filming this.
This should be perfect.
Hopefully.
It's wide open, lots of rocks, and away from people.
True.
I don't want to try anything where I could hit someone.
Oh, this sounds exciting.
I know. Come on.
It said Harding's encouraged that you think her new magic...
Up high for good vantage.
Let's try it out for practice.
For practice.
All right. See this rock? I'm gonna move it.
Yeah, nothing happened, love.
Awkward.
Now, when I originally did this, the conversation I was having with you guys is that what's happening in Clementis' head right now. He sees that, you know, she struggled with trying to use her ability effectively, and, you know, she failed. And that's normal. That happens to us all when, you know, we try something new. So Clementis is not gonna, like, say, keep going or, you know, use words. He's gonna be more like, do you need privacy? Just as a way to lighten the mood, because he knows what it was like trying to use his magic and, you know, stuff didn't always work out, so.
Why are you just standing there?
Do you want me to turn around, give you two some privacy?
But I did it before, when we were fighting Darkspawn.
We were in danger. Maybe that helped.
So, a mental cue. Some kind of emotional trigger.
Now, when she says this mental cue and emotional trigger, for Clementis, he's thinking about his wife, Matilda. When Matilda was alive, she never really considered using magic as a dwarf. To her, it was a foreign concept. And he's thinking, had Matilda been alive and been with him on this journey, it could have been her instead of Harding. And he thinks about the two women. You know, Matilda was more of an intellectual, analytical thinker, a problem solver, you know? And Harding is somewhat the same, but Harding is far more of a nurturer at her core. She is nurture versus nature. Or maybe I didn't say that right. But she's far more of, how can I protect and serve? You know, how can I, you know, help, right? So when you think about the conversation like Clementis had with Neb and Harding when they found the ritual dagger, Harding was so angry she didn't take the shot to protect, to stop Solas from hurting anyone else, or more importantly, also hurting Varric, because that was also a thing. And then, you know, Clementis looks at Harding's face and he sees all these injuries, and he knows, even though he hasn't known her, like, for that long, he knows that protection is the thing she would be more aligned with versus just relax and have fun. That's more of his way of doing things. But for her, it's definitely protection, which also something Matilda would have probably wanted or felt. She would have felt the same. So
maybe you could think about how your abilities protect us.
Instinct. Protection. Shield myself.
Yep.
Shield others. If I had this magic before, I could have...
And it worked.
I could have protected the people who matter.
And, you know, again, Clementis feeling similar when Stormy and Matilda gave up their lives to get him and Varric and all those other people out of that mind that that Ravani noble tried to double cross them in. See, you can't go around blaming yourself, you know, and later in this episode, I'll explain why it was really weird. I did, you know, Harding and Ballara's quest like back to back. It was very interesting. You know, you can't go around blaming yourself. He's not even going to waste his time saying, look at what you did. Even though, yes, that is a good thing. Like, look at what you did. You were able to move it when you put your mind to it, and you tapped into something that's pure to yourself, which is protection. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, you can't save everyone. And that is also extremely true. But again, this is about uplifting Harding, keeping her positive, keeping her seeing things on the bright side, because they have enough doom and gloom to deal with elven gods and everything else that's coming at them. So he's going to say, you can't blame yourself.
You can't blame yourself for everything. It'll destroy you.
Some thoughts just come.
Mm-hmm.
They leave their mark.
They do.
Even when you push them away. I just have to concentrate on the people I can help. Either way, I think I'll need more practice with this. Don't you?
Agreed. Now, the other thing that I like about this... I
wonder what's up there. Think you could find us a route?
Maybe. I'll take a look.
Go for it, love. While she does that, I'm gonna gather goodies. There's no goodies down here. My bad, everybody. I lied to you. I'm a horrible person. I'm just kidding, no.
I bet you could move this to give us something to climb on.
Now, I'm gonna use this opportunity to talk to you guys again. Okay, so when I first played this, real talk, I really wish my Elgato didn't do what it did with stuttering and the freezing frames and everything else, because for Matilda and, I mean, for Clementis and Harding, this is a really great bonding moment, and I love what the writers are doing here. Because in past Dragon Age games, if you've never played them, you had a line of dialogue you could follow when you were back at, you know, back at Skyhold, or doing your companion quest, you could follow a line of dialogue, like a tree of dialogue, and now we don't do that here. You know, now it's more or less like we're having a conversation while we're out and about, while we're out in the real world. And for some of you might be noticing, Balara's not with this. This is a solo quest with you and your companion, while you're doing a specific mission with them, making you really focus on them more. So for me, I really like this. I like this touch, and I like the psychology behind it, because it allows you to really see Harding more than just as the scout.
Well done.
Nice.
Let's find another rock for you to practice on.
There you go. And I love how Rook is encouraging. And listen to this.
The multitudes called out, finding solace in each other.
What?
I don't know. I was just saying something, wasn't I? Huh. Just came to me.
Now again, this has me... I'm not going to ruin the surprise for you guys. But when I first heard that, I was like, oh my god, that is insane. She just started randomly talking about finding solace or solace in each other, in a harmony. And I saw on another video, my friend Angel Arts, his version, Harding actually says something entirely different. The dialogue is entirely different that she says. So I was very shocked when I saw that. I was like, what the hell? That's new. So again, for people who don't like...
Clear a path for us?
Yes, she can. For people who do not like this dialogue or think it's bad, I mean, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of subtext happening. Some people may find it manipulative, but to me, I think all stories are manipulative to make you feel something. At the end of the day, that's what the writer wants you to do. And I think right here, this is one of the quests where I think they do an outstanding job. But with that said, Harding.
You got it.
Just like Hair Color Magic.
You're getting good.
Right? Really, Harding? You gonna let a boy drown? Okay. Okay, there we go. There we go. Nice. I love doing that. Okay. And then also, because we need materials. And I don't think there's anything else over here. Nope. Okay. Harding love. Do your thing, baby.
Heard ya. There you go.
Practice is really helping, huh?
I might even be ready for a bigger challenge now.
I think she's so
many
cute.
Rocks. And they feel different. That one's granite. That one's slate. I think that one might be quartz. I wonder if the rock's composition affects my magic. Sorry, just thinking out loud. Let's get back to it. Practicing, I mean.
And I like that. I like how she is like actually sensing things. Now for Clementis, like for him, it was the same way when he first started.
This one.
Oh, I forgot. They actually talk. For him, it was something similar when he was channeling the Fae.
Let's find a couple more.
There we go.
I'm on it.
Lovely.
No trouble for you now.
I know. This is great.
And I love that she sounds so happy and excited. I think Ali Hillis is just, for me, she's knocking it out of the park.
Right.
There we go.
Good work. You got the hang of this stone thing.
I'm definitely getting there.
What was that?
Someone's in trouble.
And what did we just talk about? Protecting people. And Harding, now you got your opportunity. So this new outfit we have here is actually pretty good. I like it because it allows her sundering duration to last longer, so she can apply Sundering. As a mage, I can detonate. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and slip that on Harding. So yeah, so for me, I liked it because it allowed you to have a more intimate touch or connection with the companion.
We need to move quick.
Yeah. So, alley-oop.
Please, someone! Is anyone out there?
Someone's in trouble. We need to go.
We will. Hold on. Gotta drop that for later. So yeah, I really like this little quest. I thought it was so cute. What you begin to experience with Harding. And it really shines with her character.
Can't move.
Hold on.
And then here we can't go in there just yet. Boop.
Up over there. I bet that's where he is. There's
Brother
no way
man
up
sound
from
like
here.
he dying.
Let's look around.
Mm-hmm. And if you focus on this up here, you can do this. Et voila. But back to what I was saying, like, for me, this really just kind of solidified Harding as a really wonderful and well-written characters. And I now really understand what the devs were saying when they say, oh, this is the most romantic and most intimate when it comes to companion stories. And even though I haven't experienced the others, okay.
Move this rock.
I haven't experienced the other companion stories except for Ballara and Harding's, but from the two I've experienced, I really like it. Like, I was very impressed.
There he is. Let's hurry. Easy.
Maker. I thought I was dead for sure.
And I love this answer. You know, are you all right? Not while Harding is here. You got lucky. I'm gonna say this thing I said last time, and not while Harding is here.
Harding wouldn't let that happen.
The rocks. How did you do that?
I love this part.
Harding?
Do you hear that?
Hear what?
Sister, I feel you, touched by the ancients as I was. Find me. Look to those closest to the stone, and find me.
Harding? What's wrong? What are you hearing?
I'm sorry. Let's just get our friend to safety, and then we'll talk.
And when I first saw that, I was like, what the fuck? So my theory is that this might be Volta from Dragon Age Inquisition. You meet her in a DLC called The Descent. And so this is Harding's quest. So me personally, I like this. I like that it showed Harding at her core is a protector. And she is someone who really loves what she does personally. She really loves protecting. And like I said, at her core, she's more of a nurturer. Especially when you start to see her room. Her room actually evolves. And what did she say? She wants to feel the earth and nature and familiar things. And we're dealing with an unfamiliar sense. So I really like what the writers are doing with this character. How they're kind of tying in her and making her very earthy with her development. I guess that's the best way to put it. So, anywho, quest complete. An unfamiliar sense. After practicing her newfound gifts in the Olathan forest, Harding has learned to call upon her abilities reliably. While on her excursion, however, she was interrupted by a mysterious voice that only she could hear. The voice told Harding to seek out those closest to the stone for the answers she seeks. And again, the only other female dwarf I've seen do anything like this was Volta. Also, what I find very interesting is how Harding had this mind where, like, in the early part of her quest, she was like, oh, saying, finding solace in one another. But in my friend Angel Art's video, she mentioned harmony, finding rhythm in a chorus, right? Now, if you are familiar with the first 2 games with Dragon Age Origins and DA2, there's a character named Sandal who gets a small nod in Trespasser. He's a young man that says enchantment all the time, and he seems like he's someone who's mentally disabled, but technically he might be way more smarter than we realize, because in DA2 he has this almost like prediction of what's going to happen in Inquisition and in Veilguard about Solace. And Harding's behavior is starting to seem like Sandal might be a part of this hive mind. And when we read a particular codex in a minute, what I'm saying will make a lot more sense, especially if you played those first 3 games and now you're playing this one. But even if you're new to this series, the dwarves have been suspected to be a part of a hive mind with something called the Titans. As we explore this further, I'll touch on this more. But in the meantime, Harding, secrets and memories, which is a huge thing for the dwarves. They have these things called shapers, and shapers craft or write the memories or the histories of the dwarven people. And yes, we're going to give her this because she get 20% of critical hit, and bleeding on enemies, especially if you have Lucanus in your party. So yes, I say let's do this. And of course we get some nice XP. So that was really cool. We could continue going this way, but we will later in the episode, because there's another section that I want to go to that's over here, that I was very surprised with. I could not believe this little mission right here, and I'll explain what it is for me, how it got kind of real and a little creepy for me in this section of the video. So yeah, so here we go. We need to go in this direction, and then also more of the map is now open to us. And then this right here, I actually, yeah,
there's an elf out there somewhere who really likes owls.
Really does. So if you do this,
what the heck? Whole forest is weird. Here goes nothing. Look at that.
Right? Look at that. Also, you get goodies. You get pure ore, and you get those imperial weaves. So here we go. So now we find this Explorer's Journal. Explorer's Journal discovered. I'm convinced these owls are more than statues. There is a power behind these silent guardians. I'm hesitant to tamper with them, but on the other hand, owls represent wisdom and transformation. I can't imagine a monument to such noble creatures would be harmful. Ronnie Limford. So I think this is really interesting that you find this, and it said owls are creatures of wisdom and transformation. And if you know anything about the elven gods, I believe it's the elven god Faladin, which is friend of the dead and wisdom, and I believe he turned into an owl. And another elven god, also their symbol or their chosen animal was an owl. I might be messing some of that up. It's been a while since I really delved into the elven lore of Dragon Age. But anywho, so yeah, so you get that, you find that, and you find this really cool gem, and a hand is holding it. It's very interesting what happens here. And then, of course, you notice the spirit in the distance, which we'll get to. But I also need this. And if anybody is wondering what these things are, I think they're like stink pods. And if you hit them, they explode. So, yeah, we're not going to fuck with that, just saying. And we're just going to jump over here.
No way out! No way through the rock! What's closing in darkness, closing in! Voice is gone. No one is coming. I can't get a breath. Oh, please let me see him one last time!
Maybe if we found the people the spirit's talking about, that might help.
Interesting.
Trapped. Can't get out. Oh, it hurts. It's dark. Please. They didn't know what to do. They didn't want to die. Stop the thoughts. Stop the fears. Quiet, please. Make it quiet.
It's really upset, and if it stays like this, it could turn into a demon, I mean.
Could this spirit sense the agony of the Dalish who recently died in the forest?
Help them. Help me.
Now,
I can't move. Why can't I move? I can't feel my legs.
yeah, that for me was very creepy. Now, before we do Balara's quest, matter of fact, let me set that up right now. Here is Balara's. Yikes. Okay. Fit for a veil jumper. That's a gift. And then, of course, Lucanus. And then we're going to do this one. First, we're going to finish Balara. Then we're going to do this one. Spirit of the Dalish. And then we'll do a little exploring in Alathan Forest. So, let me clarify this really quickly for you guys. This spirit back here, when I first saw it, it made me feel very uncomfortable. Here's the clip.
Make it quiet.
Ooh, that's...
It's really upset, and if it stays like this, it could turn into a demon, I mean.
Yeah.
Could this spirit sense the agony of the Dalish who recently died in the forest?
Maybe.
Help them. Help me.
Of course. Ooh.
No way out. No way through the rock. What's closing in darkness? Closing in.
I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. That was really creepy. Now, to some of you, as I was saying in that clip, you know, when I was younger, and even now as an adult, I would hear spirits communicating with me, asking for help or guidance. I do not claim that I'm a medium or that I'm some kind of psychic or any of that stuff, but I know what I see and I know what I experience. It's so much so that other people have witnessed what I shared with them when I share it with family and friends, that spirits do talk to me. Now, if you just don't believe me because you don't believe in it, I'm not here to say, oh, you're wrong and you're an asshole for not believing me. It's not even about that. Because seeing is believing in most cases. And until you have experienced it yourself, only then will you understand what I'm talking about. And for others who know what I'm talking about, it's a very weird sensation when spirits or energies from beyond the veil talk to you or reach out to you. One night I remember, and then we'll get to Balara's quest. I remember I was lying in bed and I woke up and I felt someone touching my foot. And there was a man at the foot of my bed. He was a white man. He looked middle-aged. He had a terrible head wound. I mean, it looked gross. The head wound looked gross. And yeah, you see Balara running over to her little spot. And this man was begging me for help. He didn't know where he was. He didn't know what was going on. He said, please, can you help me? And I can't fully remember everything that I was told because I was also scared shitless. I think I was like maybe 12 or 11. Like, I was really young when this happened. And it's not the first time a ghost has done that to me before, or a spirit, or an echo of energy, depending on however you see them. And I was shook up to my core. And hearing that ghost saying, help them, help me, brought me back to that memory of being a child and being powerless to this that I was experiencing. I was ill-equipped and uneducated in this matter. And as I grew older, I began to understand this better. Even now, I still don't tamper with that stuff. Like, you guys have no earthly clue. But experiencing that, again, it hit home for me personally. And so does this quest. So let's do it. Balara, my love. Balara's outing. Echoes of the past. Help Balara check the artifacts. Meet Balara at a location marked in Alathan Forest. Balara returned to the Veil Jumpers to test ancient elven artifacts and ensure their behalf safely. This quiet moment offers a chance to get to know her better. I do apologize for stumbling over the words. Again, I am dyslexic, and sometimes the letters do move. Not sometimes, all the time. But anywho, let's start this quest. I'll probably fix the reading in post, just so it sounds smoother.
Okay, we all know why we're here, right?
Make sure that the artifacts we calmed stay calmed. We know.
This should be easy. Yanarl, you and Strife take the first set. Irlin and Hamuel take the second. Rook and I will handle the rest.
Now, this moment here is actually, I find, very cute. And in another playthrough, I do want to romance Balara. One, I think she's incredibly beautiful, and this profile just really highlights her exquisite features. So me as the player, I think Balara is exquisite, just like I think Nev is exquisite, and all the women, actually, I think are very, very beautiful. But Clemantis, even though, yes, he sees her beauty, but he doesn't feel that way about her. He sees a friend. So, in all honesty, he's going to be like, so what do I do?
I'm still a little confused about what I'm supposed to be doing.
Oh, of course you are. Sorry, sometimes I forget not everyone spends all their time studying ancient elven artifacts. We're going to check the crystal alignment, fade connection, and the lyrium reserves.
Has alignment ever been a problem? Even once?
It's not worth the risk. Even if it's only off by a little bit, we know what happens.
Happened once. And we can't even be sure the crystal alignment was why. Look, I know what you're saying, but maybe if we
check it every single time.
I'm sorry. You're right. Sorry.
Forget it.
Now, again, when I first saw this, I was like, is everything okay? So, okay then. You know, and to me, this girl, Yanel, does not have a point. Because to me, this doesn't make any sense for a Lord of Fortune who knows nothing about ancient artifacts, elven artifacts, even though, yes, he's an elf. He doesn't know anything about this, so why would he say she has a point? That's stupid, and that's out of character. And even though, yes, he could be sarcastic, but again, as I said before, he's very emotionally intelligent. He sees that she's uncomfortable, and whatever this girl is talking about has clearly pissed her off and rubbed her the wrong way, so...
Are you okay, Balara?
I'm fine.
It's my fault, really. I'm sorry, Balara.
Let's go. We want to get back quickly.
Of course. See you soon.
And Irilyn used to be Balara's girlfriend, so Balara, you have good taste in women. Just saying. And also gold.
So what was that all about?
What was what all about?
That tension. Seemed pretty heavy.
That part.
It's nothing. Don't worry about it.
And I like how she tries to like ignore it, but
here we are, the artifact vault, or one of them at least.
Yeah.
Looks like it's seen better days.
Repairing reality doesn't leave a lot of time for repairing walls. At least until someone falls through a hole in the floor.
That part.
Example. Okay, see those two power crystals? The ones that aren't glowing?
Mm-hmm.
There should be a couple of replacements, charged ones in the room. If you grab them, I'll make sure the artifact stays calmed.
Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of reading. I fucking love this room. One, this room is absolutely stunning with the Hala, you know, I now call them, you know, Gillenon's abominations. But yeah, there's so much lore in this room, and for someone like me who's a massive lore nerd, I was eating this up. So let's start from the beginning. Okay, so this egg right here, I do believe you find it in the Trespasser DLC. But if you read the book Tevinter Nights and you read the Horror of Harmag, this actually touches on that chapter in that book, which is like an anthology series. So it said, artifact name, Gillenon's Bonding. Is it found in an ancient unnamed Tig? Tigs are where the dwarves come from. Dwarves live underground. They're subterranean people. Harding, as well as Clementis's passed away wife, Matilda, they lived on the surface. So Taigs, again, are where the dwarves are from. When we talk about Orzammar and Kalsharok, these are these are dwarven kingdoms that are underground. Also where Lyrian comes from, and Titans. But we'll touch on that in later episodes. Just keep that in the front of your mind for now. But anywho, found in an unnamed Taig, artifact will combine multiple living creatures into one body when unstable. So, causing immediate death in most cases. So now, in the Horror of Hormak, there's these Grey Wardens that are trying to find their missing companions. Now, for the protagonist, the male, the star of this story, he's looking for his lover, which is another male warden. Surprising. You know, Dragon Age is writing about queer characters. How strange. But, you know, hey, he liked dudes and so do I. So, in this short story, he was very, dead set on trying to find this man. He finds another warden. She's mutilated herself. She has this weird gray goo coming out of her that smells like brine. And if you don't know what that means, brine just means it smells heavily of salt water or seawater. Kind of like what you find in Baldur's Gate, not Baldur's Gate, but in Dragon's Dogma 2. When you fall in the water, the brine will get you. But in this case, he finds his lover, and it's an unfortunate end, but he has been transformed or mutated into another creature. And it's really creepy. It's one of the best stories in that book. There's a lot of good stories, but that's one of the best. And I believe it is written by John Epler. I think it's written by John Epler. And it's absolutely amazing. So I really, really like that short story. Also, I love Balar because this story made me really like her and understand her better as a character. But anywho, let's go over here and let's read this. What is this? Artifact name is Soleil's Firefly. Found in the center of a large charged circle, artifact will emit tremendous heat and light when unstable, will melt stone. This is huge. Now, if you don't know who Soleil is the goddess of fire, or mother of the hearth. And she's known for her practices of, you know, home decor and home living and, you know, hearth, like everything around the fire. The fire is like the thing that makes your heart beat, that creates warmth and light and good things. So this is what Soleil is known for. So this item, this artifact, will basically melt stone. So some people have theorized that Soleil was also, she wasn't as loving and hearthwarming as she was proclaimed to be, as we've learned from Gillenon and Elgernon. So that was very interesting. Also, smashy, smashy, and smashy. See, that's why I'm breaking things, so I can get materials. Now, the next thing here is this right here. And this is called the Tears of, I know it reads as June, but there's an old book that kind of breaks down the elven deities' names, and this is pronounced June, so the Tears of June. Found at the bottom of a large well, artifact will separate all nearby materials into constituent pieces when unstable. Materials can include people. So it's very interesting that this item separates or destroys things because June is known as the god of crafts, and he's one of the gods that I was very interested in because there's not a lot of lore about him. And then from what my memories tell me, I think June and Soleil were lovers. I think they were boyfriend and girlfriend from how it's kind of depicted, but I could also be very wrong. Again, you're getting quite a bit of elven lore. And then over here, you actually find this codex, which we will read. Also, we find this. Now we read this. So now Dirthamin, from what I remember, was god of the dead and knowledge. So I think the owl is representative of him. He was also one of the gods I was very interested in because of death and secrets. And also he has a twin brother known as Faladin. Now some people have theorized that Dirthamin and Faladin were lovers. Some say that they were brothers. Some say that they were a split personality. So one would switch from one personality to another. So it's very interesting. It says, found on the western edge of the White Spire. The White Spire is somewhere located in the Olathan Forest within Olathan City. Buried in snow, artifact will cause nearby objects to continue floating upward indefinitely when unstable. So basically it just makes everything levitate. Currently cannot be retrieved. So it's basically they just have this set up for them because it just continues to float when it's unstable. So right now it's just sitting in there and it can't be retrieved because it don't make shit flow. But anywho, let's pick this up. Now this codex entry right here. Hold on one second, guys. I am getting a phone call. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. I had a phone call. I am corresponding with family, trying to figure out stuff. Okay, now we're gonna read only 2 codex entries. We're gonna read this one real quick, and I'm gonna read this in post. This is basically some scouts reporting some like strange things happening in Olathan Forest about humming trees. So again, like I said, I'll read this in post for you, so don't worry. Scouting report: the trees are singing. Expedition Scouting Report: Veiljumpers, Renan, and Nasser reporting. The trees in Ruin Reach started humming today. We heard faint echoes and went looking. We could never pinpoint it, but it sounded like music. It took us a while to realize it was coming from all directions. So we spent an hour going in circles trying to make sense of that. Finally, it dawned on us. It was coming from the trees. We were completely surrounded by the hum. Inside it, the whole forest was bathed in it. We couldn't tell if it was the leaves or the branches making the sound. We brought back a sample of both, but as soon as we left Ruin's Reach, the hum stopped. We haven't heard it since. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to read was about the Dwarven people. Now, I'm not going to read everything. I'm only going to read one thing in particular that I found extremely interesting, and it's right here. Thoughts on Isatunal. Now, for those of you who saw the episode 4 with Child of the Stone, Harding shouts this word Isatunal, and later when Clementis or Rook goes to talk to her, she mentions it's Isatunal, which she said it's all about being one, not as like one as in singular, but one as in many. We are one, a hive mind. And that's what we've always theorized that the dwarves, the ancient dwarves, were when it came to the Titans. So, it says here, thoughts on Isatunal, Harding. How can something be both, all, and one, together, but separate? It doesn't make sense, does it? But of course it doesn't make sense. You can't make sense of an idea without a word to define it, to give it shape and boundary. Maybe Isatunal is a word we forgot, and then forgot Isatunal was possible. Think about ants. Ants know what they are. They know their purpose, and they must understand instinctually how that purpose fits within the whole. But what if it doesn't end there? What if their consciousness isn't just individual? What if the nest itself knows what it is? A collection of sentience of some kind. Nothing says ants don't have collective sentience. We just assume they don't because they're ants. Ants, or bees, or darkspawn. Now there's a thought. Love, Dagna. Inquisition, Arcanus. So this letter here was written by Dagna. And I love it so much because it touches on the hive mind theory when she talks about ants or bees or darkspawn, because they all seem to have a hive mind presence. For darkspawn and Grey Wardens, they all hear a song of like something that connects them to something. Templars, Southern Templars in Jeslyrium, they're trying to connect to something. It's so interesting when you think about the conversations you had with Cole from Inquisition. I know I'm giving you guys a lot of information right now, but I'm telling you, this game has absolutely incredible lore. And I think that's part of the reason why this game franchise is so well beloved. So again, Dagna is a character you find in Origins, and Dagna is a subterranean dwarf. She grew up in Orzammar, but she always wanted to study magic and be like a magical artifice or something like a magical expert. Though she was not made of though she was cut off from Isatunal, her dwarven magic. So again, I find this extremely interesting when you learn more about it. And like I said, Dagna is a character you can either help or choose not to help in Origins. But you do meet up again with her in Inquisition, where she helps the Inquisitor understand the Fade Tear and the anchor that's in their hand. So it's so interesting. And there is this one section of video I'm going to insert right here. I'm going to steal it from my good buddy Angel Arts, where the Inquisitor and Dagna are having a question about the dwarves, and she kind of says something about the stone and having all of the thoughts, and it goes right back into the theory that dwarves are hive mind. So here's the clip.
Everything that was cleaned off you, and it's weird. And the other rift bits, they're weird. It's just weird.
Okay. Yeah.
Answers, Dagna?
Lyrium and the Fade linked, but dwarves and Tranquil, not linked.
Right.
But they work Lyrium, so they are. Somehow. There's something there. I was face deep in a rune, and for a moment, I was tall. Really tall. And I thought all the thoughts.
Dagna? You were really tall. Thought all the thoughts. What's the link with you were really tall?
You felt taller. How much taller?
Like mountain tall. Or I was the mountain. But I was moving. I felt dizzy.
Interesting.
You know what I remembered? Watching a shaper carve the wall of memory. Except big. Isn't that weird? Maybe there were fumes.
Thought all the thoughts.
What do you mean when you say thought all the thoughts?
I don't know. As if for a moment I was around all my people. And my thought was all of theirs.
Your thoughts with their thoughts?
No, my thought was all of our thoughts. Like parts.
Okay, now she's starting.
Maybe that's what the stone feels like. Or we think it feels like. If we think it feels.
Ooh,
It's insane, right? It's in, like she said, if we think that the stone can feel, that's creepy, you know? So again, I freaking love this. There are more, like this is Harding's mother, and then there are more letters that Harding kind of writes about more about the Dwarven people, which I will read in another episode and we'll discuss later. Because I want to continue and I want to move on from Belara's quest. I thank you guys so much for listening to this exposition of me talking about all this shit. But again, I find it so fascinating. But let's continue.
Okay, new power crystal is in.
Great. And the artifact didn't collapse the room.
Was that a possibility?
Always is.
I love it. Always is. Okay, and then we read this one, and we're gonna get this right here. Now, there's no mention of anything here, but that is a wheel of cheese. That's somebody's lunch. Somebody was hungry. But if you play Dragon Age Inquisition and you got a shield of cheese, that might be it. And then right here, I love this right here when you read this note. Carefully written note. We need better guidance around artifact retrieval. No clear direction on what to do when you find one. and how to tell if it's safe. Lots of new people means lots of risk. Balara has suggestions. Given her history, she's motivated to make this all safer. Suggests we convene and talk about her proposal. Strife. So when you read this letter here, it paints a better picture of the conversation that Balara was having outside with everyone else. And how Strife was like trying to carefully suggest there's something else going on with Balara and why she was so touchy on this subject and her safety protocols when it comes to elven artifacts. And then this right here, this little hastily scrawled note from Balara just makes me love her more. And it just goes to show that at her core, she's a magical scientist. And I love that about her. Hastily scrawled note. Borrowed the gauntlet artifact. Figured out how to create arrows. And it resonates with other artifacts. Not sure what that means, but interesting. Will return soon. Promise. B. And I think that is so fucking cool, especially if you play as a Veil Jumper or as a Veil Ranger. You can use some of these elven devices like Balara does as a weapon, but also Balara is a mage as well, so I think that's just like really cool. It makes her more interesting as a character. But anywho, let's get this over to Balara because we have more shit to do.
And there we go.
So it's calmed now.
Should be, and it'll stay that way for a while. And in the meantime, it won't tear open reality. Okay, let's keep going.
Sure. Sounds good.
So the goal is to follow the lovely Balara. And that's what we're gonna do. And I absolutely love this right here. And it's so interesting how the little lights look like the lighthouse. I think it's beautiful. And then right here where we jump into the fade.
So, it's nice out at least. You know, ignoring that reality itself is paper thin here.
Right.
Hard to ignore that.
Right.
And so, again, I didn't mean to say the fade, I meant to say Olathon Forest. But look at this right here. You see all these legs and like tree people. So it's just like, whoa. So it makes you think about Gillenon's experiments when you see all of this. So when I first saw this, I was like, oh, this is so interesting and so cool. Not to mention we get one of these.
Found one.
Great. Bring it over here and put it in the socket.
Yeah, don't say that to a man. It just, especially when you look like Balara and you saying shit like that. That's not nice. That's not fair. But anywho, I really like this little quest. I know I keep hinting at something, but maybe you've seen it already, maybe you haven't. But again, my first time experiencing this, I was blown away. And like I said, I'll show the clip when I get to that section.
Before it was calmed, I mean.
It would bring flaming rocks down all around it, every 30 minutes. And for some reason, you'd hear chanting while it did it. Not sure what that was about.
I love it. And it just goes to show, like, the ancient elves were just stupid with their magic. Like, oh, because we can, we will. And it's just like, but why? You know, maybe it was a device for war. I don't know. And yes, I kind of figured when I saw the ladder that one of those little crystals was up here. And again, you see more of the tree people's legs. Again, I find all of this so interesting, and I want to know more about what happened to them and why they are like this and why this tree looks like a centipede in some weird way. Again, the ancient elves were stupid with their magic.
Okay, reserves replaced, which means there. Everything's looking good. Thank you, by the way, for helping out. You have better things to do. I know.
And it's so funny that because it's like, for you, anytime. But again, when I'm romancing Balara, I will definitely go that route. But he's like, I do, but that to me, that seems kind of mean. And this is a vacation. No, this is important to you. So, you know, again, understanding that not only is this important to her, this is important work in general because it's necessary, because she's keeping, you know, Arlathan in check with all the wild magic happening. I'm sorry, girl. This is far too important.
We're keeping reality intact. That feels pretty important.
Right. Good point.
Mm.
Okay, one more to go.
So now we follow the lovely Balara again. And again, so cool and so creepy. I love the Arlathan forest.
Not too far now. Thank you for giving me this chance to help people.
You were already kind of doing that as a veil jumper.
Sort of, but it was never as big, you know? As grand. Helping you. Well, we're helping lots of people. Everywhere. I like that.
Again, Jin Yun Han, the woman who speaks for Balara, she did such a good job on these lines. I love her performance. Yes, kick that down. When I first saw this, I was a wee bit confused, but I figured it out relatively quickly. So you see that crystal over there? You need that, but in order to get that, you need to find another crystal, which is up there. And that's what we're going to do. But before we help Balara, there was an area we ran past. First, we're going to run out here because of this. In the original version, I was so confused. And oh, this is a trinket for Balara, so we're going to give it to her because it increases her shock damage. And anything that makes her more of a powerhouse, we say yes. And then we're gonna do a jump. Okay. And look. Treasures. So yeah, so I think that's the only thing that's over here. Yeah, okay. So we're just gonna run back across and Wonder Woman jump. I barely made it. And then also this. So now that we have our Rosemary, we're going to go back to our girl Balara and help her out properly. Okay, here we go. And then also, just for fun fact, we were literally just down there. So when I first realized it, I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. I love it. And then also, there's a lute right here. And Clementis' real incarnation, he's a musician and he plays a lute. And in well, he actually plays a guitar. But in Baldur's Gate 3, I'm playing as Clementis and he has a lute because he's a magical bard and I support him. But anywho, here we go.
So how do you calm an artifact anyway?
You have to cut it off from its power source, but carefully. Some of them like to try and blow up when you do it.
Yeah, it's a good thing we have her to make sure that doesn't happen. And yes, you can break that. So let's open this. And ooh, looky looky. Winner winner, chicken dinner. And we got another codex, we got another memento. So I actually love that. We got some more gold. We got some Veil Jumper armor. I say yes. I think, yeah, this is like an appearance. So it's like a common appearance. So basically it's just like a glamour. It's not like the actual armor. Oh shit. I did the one thing I wasn't supposed to do. I need to put this right here. Because this is the part where it started freezing really bad, and you guys couldn't see this.
Never mind.
Found the other crystal.
Great, slot it in.
Again, her and this slotted in business. Okay. And then we just take this other artifact right here and yoink. And the bridge goes away. I love this scene right here. It's so good.
There. Done.
You okay?
Oh, I'm fine. Or will be. It takes a lot out of you, all those little magic bits. Not hard, just exhausting. But it needs to be done, and done right.
Now, when she says that again, I respect that. Let others help. You'll burn yourself out. Again, Clementis understands all of this, but he doesn't know anything about this. So again, all he can do is just give her flowers and say, I respect that.
Yeah, keeping reality from falling apart is important. But other veil jumpers can do this. Why not let them?
Because maybe then I can make up for it.
Make up for what?
For not being good enough when it counted. I'm sorry, I can't. Not right now.
So Balar goes outside. Now, I'm going to actually cut away and let you see my actual reaction to this scene right here. Now, to some people, you may not agree with this. As I said before at the beginning of this video, this might be triggering for some of you because, you know, seeing someone get emotional, again, it might be uncomfortable. So as I said before, I have timestamps. So right now on the screen is a timestamp where you can just skip past this scene if you don't want to see my honest reaction. Again, I'm absolutely blown away at this scene because it made me feel a lot of things. So with that said, enjoy. Balara? Intrigued? Yeah, fine, Balara. Intrigued, not being good enough. Girl, spill? Oh, what happened? Tell me all about it.
Balara, I'm,
My brother.
What?
Back there. You asked me why I did this.
Mm-hmm.
Why I put myself out here. For him. For my brother. Wherever he is.
What happened to him? What do you mean? What happened? And Clementis, remember, he's emotional and mature. This sounds like she said wherever he is, either he died or he got trapped in the Fade. And yikes. Yeah, so he's gonna offer his condolences. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have brought it up.
It's okay. Well, no, it's not okay. But not because of you.
Okay.
Syrian. That was his name. We were the same, you know? In a lot of ways. We wanted to learn everything. About Elvenon, the magic, the people, all of it. We heard about the Nodus Terthalin, figured it had the answers, or some of them. Then Arlathan started going wrong. I joined the Veil Jumpers to help people. And he kept looking, kept putting himself in danger. It should have been safe. I know, I checked that artifact 3 times. I guess it should have been 4. Artifact started pulsing. He was too close. I couldn't find my way in. They called him a hero. Wanted to make a statue. They thought it would make it all okay.
So she feels guilty about someone else dying. And you, like, what did I say earlier? Like, Clementis understands the importance of double and triple checking. You know, he lost his husband and wife, so he can relate to her big time on this. You know, they wanted to make a statue, but, you know, they thought it would make it okay. It really, say nothing, it never does make it okay. Because it doesn't replace the person. It can never replace the person you lost. But also at the same time, it sounds like she feels responsible for that. And honestly, I can relate. And then again, with Clementis losing his treasures, he gets it. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm sorry doesn't feel like enough.
It's something, even if it doesn't fix it.
That part.
Syrian, he felt responsible for our people, for me. My little brother.
Oh.
He thought he needed to take care of me. He called me Vora Shivan, hummingbird, in Elven. Said it was because I could never sit still.
Huh.
But he loved me for it. Said it kept him thinking, trying to keep up. And he helped me too. He kept me focused, anchored. And now he's gone. Because I wasn't good enough.
It's not your fault. You have to know that.
Then why does it feel like it was?
You lost someone important. Guilt's part of that. But if you don't learn to get past it, you'll drown.
Real
I
talk.
wish it were that easy. I've tried. Told myself I couldn't have done anything, and my head believes it.
Yeah.
But my heart doesn't. So I try to make up for it. Honor him. Learn about our people.
Right.
Find the truth. Maybe when I do, I'll feel it.
Feel what?
Forgiveness, I'm sure.
That he forgives me. And that I deserve it.
That part.
We should head back.
Oh my god.
Look.
Fucking BioWare.
Thank you for being here.
Oh. Oh my god. I relate to that so wholeheartedly. Oh, God. I guess this is another story time, guys. Okay, a long time ago, when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I lost a nephew at the age of 3. And it was due to his father's side of the family not liking us because we were people of color, though they were Spanish and we were black. And because of their lies and deceit and trickery, 1 month, not even a full year of my nephew being out of my sister and my care, his father fell asleep at the wheel of a car and hit a tree, and it killed my 3-year-old nephew. And I took that so hard because I always felt, had I been more present or been around more or done more, which I had already done plenty for my nephew, but I felt responsible for a loss that wasn't even mine to begin. Like, it wasn't my fault that my nephew passed away. It was at the hands of his careless father. And it hurt me so much because I remember the day that baby was born. I remember, like, teaching him words, him talking, the fact that he loved to sing, or he would dance whenever you would sing. And what Balar is feeling, even though these are two completely different things, I relate 100% to this. This entire, like, section of the Olathon Forest, Harding, Balara, that spirit, like, holy shit. I was not expecting to get this way during this recording, and I apologize. Oh my fucking god. BioWare, if you see this, good job. Good job. This, I still don't understand why people don't like this or why people are complaining about this. For me, this was so, like, almost needed. Like, I needed to rehear those words because there are days where I still feel really bad about that loss. And God, I can't even begin to explain all the little intricate details because it's so exhausting to talk about. And you think about Balara, and it does make you say, for the next child, I'll be more attentive, I'll be better, because maybe I wasn't good enough, maybe I wasn't around enough, maybe I wasn't enough of a voice for my sister to help her keep her kid away from these people who just didn't like us because we were black. You guys have no idea the devastation that caused my family. My sister, my eldest sister, is she's completely deaf, so she can't hear, so she needs interpreters. So my second language is sign language. And I remember I was at work when my sister went to court and no one can go with her. And because of that family's deceitful, lying nature, we lost a child. And today he would be an adult. He would be in his mid-20s has those liars not did what they did. And we would still have our nephew. My sister would still have one of her children. And oh my God, my mother was so hurt. My sister, like, I couldn't even imagine how my sister felt. This is her child, not mine, hers. But it felt like I lost my own. I know this is, like I said, it's so different from what she's dealing with, but my God, that hit home. Okay, guys, so that was my honest reaction to that bit of storytelling. For me, it was very hard to deal with those feelings personally. And I really feel that Balara captured all of those feelings I felt. Feeling like I needed to be forgiven, to feel like I felt responsible for a loss that wasn't even my fault. But yet, because I love my nephew immensely, I loved him like he was my own child. I love all my nieces and nephews like they are my children, because I literally helped raise them, like basically from the diapers to them actually being adults with their own children today. So, if you are someone who dealt with loss like me, especially when it comes to a child, it's very difficult. Again, I'm not the actual parent. Like I said, my sister, this was her baby, and I couldn't imagine being in her position, or any person or any parent who has lost a child. Rather they come from you, or maybe through adoption or surrogate, doesn't matter. Losing a child hurts. And this scene, I don't know what the writer was thinking, but my God, did I feel the performance. And so if you're someone who feels like this game does have good writing, you know, we're not all wrong. If you feel this game has bad writing, then we're not all wrong, because everyone interprets stories differently. And again, as I said before, my past emotional journey to accept a passing or feeling that I've earned forgiveness is very different from Balara's story, but it's very similar. The feelings I felt were very similar. So again, as I said to the BioWare team, good job on this story. This really solidified Balara as one of my personal favorite characters in Dragon Age history. I really relate to her. I really love this character. I know a lot of people don't get along with her or find her annoying, but for me, Balara is one of those characters that I will always hold near and dear to my heart because of this story. Now guys, I am going to end the episode here, and when we come back we'll continue, because I do have to re-record quite a bit of the game due to my Elgato tripping on me and freezing and all the other problems I said I was having. So yeah, so I really do want to thank you guys so much for watching, but also this scene right here real quick.
Ugh. What a horrible way to go.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. I'm used to plants that you eat, not the other way around.
Right?
Everything about the forest is changing. Now even the plants can kill you.
True. So, as I said before, guys, we will continue this episode later, because I do need to re-record the other parts of this video. I mean, I did quite a bit of recording that I cannot use, and it's very annoying. So with all that said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to live, think, and dream big. Choose love over fear. And just remember, even though it hurts right now, eventually the pain will ease. And even though it's not your fault, remember that it's okay to feel what you're feeling, but it's also okay to learn to forgive yourself and to forgive others when past hurts happen. I hope that makes sense to whoever needs to hear those words. But see you on the flip side. And until then, bye.